Rachel Sutherland on the line right now from Fox News Radio. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, good morning.
Yesterday, crazy stuff coming out of this campaign yet again. No big surprise, I guess, there. John Boehner coming out and really just blistering Ted Cruz. And it seems like there's a rally behind Donald Trump right now. So, speaking of rallies, was a Donald Trump rally yesterday. And there were like 20 people arrested, right?
Oh, holy mackerel, yeah. A lot of us are waking up to this morning, hearing about these protesters that were outside of a Trump rally in Costa Mesa, California. And we did see the images in Chicago, I guess, a couple months ago when people sort of got out of control. But this was even more intense. There was a man who jumped on a police car and actually saw a video of a bunch of them kind of rocking this police car back and forth. The windows were smashed in. A Trump supporter got punched in the face and had a bloody nose. And I mean, it was out of control.
So it does make you wonder that, it looks like it's going to be Hillary and Trump, and who knows if somebody else jumps in. But it does really make you wonder, are these people, they're willing to come out and fight and get their nose bloodied and throw punches and what have you. But on the Democrat side, are these people going to be willing to come out and vote for Hillary?
Well, that's a good question. You'd think if they're motivated enough to bash up a police car, they might go to the polls, but yeah. I don't know.
Or is this one of those, hey, the NBA Finals, we won, let's go out and loot?
It's kind of early to tell, and we haven't been able to talk to these protesters, except that they seem pretty passionate about how they feel, and there were a lot of folks out there waving Mexican flags, so I think this has a lot to do with Trump's stance on immigration and the wall along the Mexican border.
Interesting. So they might not be able to vote, or
that's a good point. Yeah,
or maybe they will. You just you don't know. All right, Rachel. Interesting stuff. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend. Rachel Sutherland on Fox News, and then on top of it, John Boehner comes out. Does that surprise everybody? Boehner coming out so strongly against Ted Cruz?
No, and somebody called up during the break and said the reason that a lot of the Republicans hate Ted Cruz so much is he's the one that shut down the government. So one of their big issues was, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Now, this is coming from a listener. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier was one of the national parks that people were restricted to going to see, and, that was a big problem. It caused a lot. Obama took full advantage of that, and that is a big reason.
Listen, what's interesting about that is it's not necessarily the shutdown of the government that is what the Republicans there are mad about. It's the fact that he took advantage of the opportunity to shut down the government and left all these other Republicans standing there having to deal with it. And they knew they weren't going to succeed with it, but Cruz, and one would say the only reason he did it, he's saying, hey, I did this for the country. I stood up for the country. But what they believe is he did this for his own brand, and that's where this disdain, I think, really comes from these guys. Pretty interesting stuff. Andrew, I did want to tell you, in traveling through Disney and Universal, all this Orlando stuff for spring break, which is where I'm at right now, I noticed the huge change at what did it used to be called? MGM Studios?
Hollywood, the Hollywood Studios.
Hollywood Studios. But if you're a Star Wars fan, they are building an entire, which we know about, a new Star Wars theme park. I thought it was going to be separate, but it's going to be at Hollywood Studios. And if you've been to Hollywood Studios and Disney, you know that area where you go down and they have all of the New York City scapes, like these fake city walls. And you go on the backside, and it's just, you can just see that it's being propped up. But all that stuff is being taken out. There's a huge area that is being reserved for Star Wars. But on top of it, when you walk into Hollywood Studios and they have the big stage, they were doing the American Idol thing there.
Yeah.
That's all a Star Wars show now.
Oh,
and
cool.
Over by the Star Wars, the actual Star Wars ride is now in 3D, and there's like apparently 7 or 8 different scenes where you get on, it's like you're in one of the ships and you're flying through, but each scene is different.
Yeah.
So you get people going on the first time and they want to go on again and again to try to see all the scenes. They are all in on Star Wars down here. It is, and think about it. They're going to be, and we'll talk to Willie about it, they're going to be having a new Star Wars movie every year.
And what's interesting is that area of Hollywood Studios used to be home to a big Christmas display show. And I don't think they'll make that go away. I just think it'll be interesting to see kind of a Star Wars Christmas theme. It'd be exciting to see what they do with that to maybe keep that Christmas spirit alive, but also bring the Star Wars into it.
And one other thing I had, if you remember the last time a few years back that I was down there at the Brown Derby over at the Hollywood Studios, which is a takeoff of the Brown Derby out in Hollywood, they have this thing with the cognac, King Louis. And it's like they have $75 for a half a shot, $150 for a full shot, and they come out and do a whole presentation. And I'm like with my wife, I'm not going to buy any shirts. I don't want to buy anything. Last time I was there, I sat down. She saw the price and was like, "No, you're not doing this." So they came all over ready to serve it, and I had to send them away.
Oh,
yeah, it was terrible. So this time she said, "All right, don't buy any hats, don't buy any shirts. You can have your stupid cognac thing, but only a half shot, only $75 a half shot." So I'm all excited. I went over to the place and I talked to the bartender over there. He said, "Yeah, we'll do that for you. That's awesome." And I said, "So I'm going to do the $75 half shot." And he said, "Cool, I'll set it all up for you." So I'm sitting down there like a kid waiting for his birthday party, and I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden they came over and they bring out the bottle. The bottle alone, empty, is worth $3,000. It's made of crystal. It's an amazing storyline behind it. Just look it up, and you'll see the whole story. I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, they came over, and the waitress said, "All right, we're all set for you. One problem. We don't do the half shot anymore."
Oh.
So now she's holding the bottle and the glass ready to pour it. She said, "Before I pour it, I want to tell you, you got to do the full shot, which is $150. And I, being the weakling that I am, was afraid that my wife wouldn't approve of the $150, so I sent him away again.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Bill.
Well, they probably get that a lot. I'm sure they get that a lot.
Well, but they should have told you.
Yeah, but how do you do the bait and switch like that? That was uncool. It wasn't my wife why I didn't do it. It was the bait and switch. That's the problem with the whole thing.
Where was this? Was this at Hollywood Studios?
Anyway. That's it, yeah, Hollywood Studios.
And
the old bait and switch, which, by the way, is a $75 bait and switch, not an easy one. I gotta break quickly. I'm about ready to run out of power. I forgot to plug in. Willie Waffle coming up in a second. We have 3 movies to hit coming up this weekend. Mother's Day's around the corner. There's actually a Mother's Day movie out, and Jennifer Aniston and Julia Roberts are in it. We'll see what that's all about. We'll talk to Willie coming up.